Hello friends, SchoolSteps.in welcomes you again. This is part 3 of Grid View Pager. In this tutorial we'll discuss how to load a different image as the background for every row. For this purpose, we will take the help from the class LRU Cache. Let's do it. Open the previous project. In the drawable folder, which is right here, paste 3 images. I will share these images with you. Let's put it under the folder drawable. Click OK. After copying the images, let's open my grid pager adapter, and in the end let's declare one array of int. Let's give it the name as bg_images is equal to new int, and inside this array let's define r.drawable.safety in playground, which is our image. And in the similar way, let's define rest of the 2 images. Put a semicolon here. The next thing which we need to do is to use LRU cache class. So we need to say LRU cache. We need to pass key value. So let's say integer and drawable. Let's call it LRU row backgrounds is equal to new LRU cache. Let's say integer and drawable. Put a curly brace here, and after the curly brace ends, we need to put a semicolon. Now inside the constructor, we need to pass one int as a parameter, and that int is cache size. Let's do it. Let's say int max memory is equal to, let's say runtime dot get runtime dot max memory divided by 1024. So this will give us the maximum memory available. Let's say int cache size is equal to max memory divided by 8. Now here cache size, it completely depends on your requirement. As per your requirement, you can increase or decrease the size of the cache, and right here we need to pass cache size as a parameter. As I said earlier, we need the LRU cache class because we need to load more than 1 images. In our case, we are using 3 images, and LRU cache class, it will store our images in the cache. Let's proceed further. So now inside the LRU cache class, we need to override the create method. So right click, go to generate, look for override methods and look for create, which is right here. Click on OK. It will override the create method. Now the first thing which we need to understand is that the return type of create method is drawable, and super.create, it may return null value, which will cause null pointer exception. So let's create one drawable object and let's return that object right here. Go up and right here, let's say private color drawable, and let's define it as default color. And inside the constructor, let's say right here, say default color is equal to new color drawable, and inside the parameter, let's say r.color dot, let's say blue, and this default color we need to return here rather than saying super.create, let's say default color. Now before we proceed with the implementation of create method, let's move outside the LRU cache class right here, and let's override one more method, that is the get background for row. So right here, right click, go to generate, go to override methods and look for get background for row, which is right here. Click on OK, and right here, instead of returning super.get background for row, let's say LRU row backgrounds dot get, and in the parameter we need to pass row, which is right here. Now the method get background for row, it gives us the current number of row. If we are on row first, this will give us 0. If we are on row second, this will give us 1. So whatever row number we are getting here, we are passing that row number inside the get method of LRU cache class. Further, the get method of LRU cache class, it makes a call to the create method. So the row number which we are getting here, it get passed as a parameter inside the create method right here. So for our better understanding, let's rename this key to row. So whatever we'll get here, it will be available right here. Now the next thing which we need to take care is on row first, we need to display this image, on row second, we need to display this image, and on row third, we need to display this image. So we need a way to get the exact image number. So right here, let's say int image number is equal to bg underscore images, and inside the array, let's say row, which is right here, then modulus operator, and then bg underscore images dot length. So what this logic will do, when the row is 0, it will say 0 mod, and the length of the images is 3. So 0 mod 3, it will return us 0. So when the row is 0, image number will be 0. In the similar way, if the row number is 1, it will say 1 mod 3, it will again return us 1. So image number will become 1, and same is applicable on 2. Now right here, let's define one more int, and let's call it myRow. Right here, let's say myRow is equal to row. We'll be using myRow later. Now last but not the least, we need to load our images, and to load our images, we'll be needing a class that extends the async task. Let's do it. So outside the LRU cache class right here, let's say class image loader extends async task, and let's say integer and void and drawable. Now inside the class, we need to override two methods. Let's see here, it's asking us to override the do in background. So let's override the method, click OK. The second method which we need to override is the on post execute. So we need to look for on post execute, which is right here. Now inside the method do in background, we need to return context. We have already got the object of context dot get resources, which is right here, dot get drawable. So right here, basically what we are getting is bg underscore images. Let's rename it, and at a time, as we will get only one image, so we can say bg images of 0. Let's rename this to result, and inside the method, let's say LRU row backgrounds, which we have created right here, dot put, and here we need to pass myRow comma result. So if you remember, we have created myRow right here, and we have initialized the myRow to row. So basically, whatever row number we are getting here, we are passing that number right here along with the result in the put method of LRU cache class. So we are done with the implementation of image loader class. Now let's call this image loader class inside the LRU cache class. So inside the create method, just before the return, we need to say new image loader dot execute, and we need to pass this image number inside the execute method. So what exactly will happen when the execute method will be called? This image number which we are passing as a parameter, this will be available as a parameter right here in the do in background method. And further, we are saying bg underscore images of 0 because we are using the variable argument here. I have already explained you the concept of variable argument, and that is the reason that we are saying bg underscore images of 0. Now last but not the least, inside the on post execute method of image loader class, we need to say notify row background changed, and we need to pass myRow here. That is it. Let's run our program now, and let's see the results. Here is the output on square and round AVD. Just pull it down a little and you can see the kid playing in the playground. Pull it up and you can see the school bus in the background. Further, swipe it to the left and you can see the column having the long text. Again, there is a school bus in the background. Further, pull it up and you can see a little girl preparing for the exams. Swipe it to the left and you can see the rest of the columns. Here is the output on the square shape AVD. So friends, with this, we'll take a break. In the next part of this tutorial, which will be the last part, we will discuss three things. Number 1, image transition. Number 2, custom layout. And number 3, how to display a different image for the columns. Friends, with this, I take your leave. Thank you so much. Please like our page on facebook.com/letsandroid. If you have any query, do write us at info@schoolsteps.in or schoolstepsin@gmail.com. Thank you.